going on, guys? My name is Brandon. Welcome to Audio Addiction, where you can find latest album reviews. You can find our band interviews, and you can find live coverage of the concerts that we get. Going to see Dayseeker this week, along with Picturesque, and that whole tour, Color Morale, Plotting You, as well as This Wildlife, Dry Jacket, and A Will Away. I'm really excited for both of those shows. I haven't been to a show in a little bit of time now, so I am in the fix mode for going to see shows. I hope to be doing 2 interviews this week, maybe 3, possibly, but definitely 2 are in the works, so definitely be on the lookout for that. So if you enjoy what we do, make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit that thumbs up as well, make sure to hit that bell as well so you get notified of when anything comes out from Audio Addiction. It'd be greatly appreciated, and thank you for your support. I'd like to do another quick shout out. Thank you guys for getting us to over 500 subscribers. Really means an absolute ton. I hope to be doing maybe like a live Q&A or something like that. If you guys are interested, let me know in the comments. But without further ado, tonight we're going to be talking about the Buried Hearts' new record, Safe Harbor. I'm searching for anything that remains. So, my friend Jack, shout outs to you, man. Thank you for sending me your record early. The Buried Heart is a band from California. My buddy Jack's been doing some work as of recently, and you might see a familiar name on the track list. But he's been writing music for some time. He's also really good friends with Sam from Sea in the Sky, as well as Frank from Surrounded by Giants. Sam, we're working on something, so if you're watching this, Sam, come on, man, what's going on? And the second thing is Frank's been on the channel, so shout outs to Frank. Hope you're doing well, my dude. But Jack hit me up about doing an album review for this. I think Frank actually gave me the contact to Jack, but I'm gonna be seeing Jack later on in the week, but that's besides the point. But anyway, he wanted me to do a review of his new record that's gonna be coming out this Friday. I'm really stoked on it. I feel like, it combines a lot of things like post-hardcore, a little bit of indie rock. So it sounds really great so far. Check out the first single that he released, Garden, if you haven't already. But I'm gonna go through each track, give you my thoughts and opinions on it. I'm going to give some pros and cons on the record, and then I'm going to finalize it with an overall score. So that's pretty much it. All links will be in the description where you can find out about Jack's band, The Buried Heart. But let's get into the first track, which is called Veins. I feel like this track starts off pretty slow, and I feel like it takes a little bit to, get up to that point. And I've listened to this album definitely more than 10 times, and I feel like, to me, the intro feels a little bit too long. I do enjoy it. I do enjoy those sort of more open, more melodic parts, but to me, I felt like that was a little bit of a long intro, in my opinion. I definitely feel like this track favors more of the sort of open sort of guitar notes and chords, just very spatial in its delivery. I definitely like Jack's vocals a lot. I like how he kind of bounces between more of those smoother tonalities to his voice, but he also has some really great grit as well, that is kind of pointed out in verse 2 of this track. I would definitely say that the grit kind of, changes his sound up and kind of makes it a little bit different, in my opinion. I definitely feel this song picks up around the 1 minute and 45-second mark, and then it kind of comes full circle with the sort of slower instrumentals and the sort of harsher vocals to back that up. I feel like that was kind of cool. There's definitely a little bit of electronic influence towards the end with like a little bit of piano. I don't think there was synth, but definitely like a little bit of piano and electronic stuff here and there. I feel like it's an interesting track all in all, and I also feel like it's a solid opener, but to me, I feel like the intro felt a little bit long and kind of took me out of the song a little bit too much, in my opinion, but nonetheless, I thought it was a solid song. So we're going to move into the second track, which is Dichotomy. This one is one of my favorites. It definitely starts off right out the gate, just real kind of aggressive, in terms of just more post-hardcore bass as opposed to more, I would say, more melodic. This one is a little bit more straightforward in that regard. I feel like the track has some great groove and just movement to it. It doesn't kind of feel stagnant like the first track. It felt a little bit slow, but the second one, I really think they picked up the pace with it. Jack's vocals are both gritty, and he has some cleans throughout. I definitely like the vocal layering as well in this track. I think it balances out very well. I also like, I don't know if it's necessarily in this track, but in a few tracks he does, where it'll be vocal layered, where he'll have like the singing part and then he'll have like kind of a scream part as a bass, and they kind of mesh very well together, in my opinion. I would have liked to see maybe more of that throughout the record, but it definitely got me going in that regard. I like the breakdown at around the 2 minutes and 20-second mark. I thought that was really cool. It definitely gives me those sort of I the Mighty vibes in terms of just how it's delivered, and just as well as just the structure of the track felt very post-hardcore bass, but definitely more in the lines of I the Mighty. It felt very much along those lines. So we're gonna move into track number 3, which is Opia. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that right. And his features our good buddy in Andres. Obviously, he's no stranger to this channel. I did a review of his most recent record, which I think is still on my heat list in terms of this year. But getting back to the track, this track definitely has all the sorts of vibes. Happy, definitely reminds me of great summer sort of moments. I feel like this one is definitely up there with some of the more summery sort of tracks that I enjoy. The instrumentals definitely make this track super catchy. The chorus is an absolute banger in my opinion. Just with the added layers, with the melodies, it definitely will get stuck in your head. I know for me, I was just kind of humming along and singing along to all of these tracks, but more particularly this one, Opia. I feel like it definitely got me going. It's definitely a nice change of pace from Dichotomy in terms of just instrumentally and sonically. I feel like this one feels the most structured in my opinion, and I really like the direction if he chooses to go in this direction of this track. I feel like it almost rides the line of 1975 kind of feels as well. I like the additional layering in this track. I feel like it adds some great ambience to the track, in my opinion. The bridge is super good, and I definitely feel like Andres's just feature fits very well within this track. Definitely has that sort of strong indie sort of rock vibe to it. I'd say that, in my opinion, if this track was going to be on the radio, I feel like this one would fit the best in terms of all the tracks that were on here. I feel like this one would be the track that most people would get vibing with. So I would say that this one is by far my top favorite track. It just has that great sort of summer kick to it. So alright, so we're gonna move into track number 4, which is Garden. Like I mentioned, it was the first single that was released, and you can check it out on his Facebook page. Again, I'll leave all the links in the description. But I'm really liking the back and forth vocally between the cleans and the screams throughout the verse. I think that's really solid. The vocal harmonies add this sort of fullness to the vocals as well. Another really solid chorus, in my opinion. I think that the additional layering definitely makes this track, in my opinion, the sort of xylophone and the sort of ambience and stuff like that, I feel like adds a lot of depth to this track, which if you took it out of the equation, I feel like it would have left a sort of emptiness to the track. So to me, I felt like, whoever did the production on it, I think it was Alan, not entirely sure. But it definitely adds that sort of fullness to this track, which I really appreciate immensely. I definitely feel like this one uses the ambience in such a good way as well, and just meshes very well. It kind of weaves in and out of the track, but I feel like in the certain parts where you need it to be in, I feel like it fits very well. The bridge is definitely interesting with the sort of spoken word slash screaming going on with that, but I think it's really cool and really unique to this track, in my opinion. And I definitely feel like it's a great kind of single to, get you an idea or in the ballpark of what it will sound like. So we're going to move into the last track, track number 5, which is Flower Theft. Really liking the instrumentals of this track. It really has some great heavy moments as well as some great melodic parts as well. I definitely feel like the space in this track adds a sort of breath to the track as well. I sort of like the instrumental ending with the piano and the sort of, theatrics of that. And also the strings as well. I feel like it just adds this sort of, extra little element to the track that definitely makes it for me. Um, but overall, in general, I felt like the progression of the track felt a little bit bland in certain parts, especially towards the end. There's just kind of like this sort of dead space to it in a regard. Maybe they could have been some vocals or something like that. I feel like towards the end of the track, the dead space kind of increases. The softer ending was kind of an interesting choice sonically, but I definitely feel like it could have ended on more of an anthematic note where maybe sort of like some open sort of strummed out chords at the end. I feel like Jack could have really took it home with this track, in my opinion at least. But I definitely feel like it fell off a bit, and I wouldn't say it's a least favorite track. I wouldn't say any of these tracks were necessarily bad. It just definitely needs a little bit of tweaking, in my opinion. So I'm going to go shoot through some pros and cons. Some pros, there are some really solid tracks like Dichotomy and Opia. The feature by Andres was another really kind of big pro, in my opinion. I feel like he fit very well with, what Jack was going for in the Buried Heart as well. I do like the more melodic elements. I definitely like tracks more along the lines of Opia and Garden. I definitely feel like sonically, between the sort of three tracks, 2, 3, and 4, I feel like to me, if he continues in that sort of sonic range, I feel like he'll definitely kind of get a grasp on it. To me, in certain parts, it feels a little bit, I don't know, it just feels a little bit stretched out, in my opinion. I don't know if that's the word to describe it. It just feels a little bit loose in that regard. Just maybe like song structure wise, it could have been a little bit more methodical about its arrangement and things of that nature. However, I feel like it's still a necessary part to keep the ambient aspect of his music in. So maybe, just kind of reining it in a little bit more would have just fixed it. There are a little bit of track structure issues, like I mentioned, Veins. It felt like it took a little bit longer to get to that point where it started to become really good, in my opinion. And Flower Theft kind of could have went in a way different direction than what was envisioned, in my opinion. I felt like they could have I definitely feel like Jack could have went in a more anthematic approach, especially towards the end. I feel like that would have fit just the ending much better, and I definitely feel like it would have been a great closer track in that regard if it ended in that way. So otherwise, I definitely feel like it's a solid record. I think you guys should go check it out. He's unsigned, so I definitely feel like this is a good chance for you guys to give him a listen as well. So my overall rating for the Buried Hearts Safe Harbor, I'm going to be giving it an 8.7 out of 10. I definitely feel like it's one you should check out and you should listen to. If you agree with me, let me know in the comments. If you don't, I also would like to know as well. If you think my opinions are right on it, do you think I'm wrong? I certainly would like to know and have a conversation about it. So thank you guys for checking out my review. If you enjoy what you see here, make sure to subscribe, make sure to like as well. It really does go a long way. As well as we have a merch store. There's a link in the description. If you'd like to pick up something, that would be greatly appreciated. And I appreciate all the support. I'm hoping to be doing 2 new series that are coming out really soon. One, I'll talk about maybe make an update video talking to you guys about what's going on for the future and what you can expect. So my name is Brandon. We hope you got your fix, and we'll be talking with you soon. Peace. Hey guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, of course. If you enjoy what we do, make sure to go check out the other series we do. We do album reviews, we do band interviews, and we do live videos, so definitely go check that out. Hit that subscribe button. It really helps out our channel, helps us grow. Make sure to hit that like button as well. Go follow us on social media. That's all down below. We try to keep that as updated as possible. We also made a new website where we'll be posting photos of upcoming concerts and stuff like that, which you can go check out at audioaddictionmedia.com and come get your fix with us, guys. Talk to you later. Deuces.